Yes, you've read the title, and yes, this is a long time coming, and I have to apologize for that, but cut me some slack, you know? You don't know me. For all you know, I might still be living in January, okay? Lastly, I might have to apologize for my ugly shorts. We getting close, guys, because I'm showing the side of me that I don't want the public to see. We're really getting close. Look at my ugly shorts. Look at it!
Ew! What an interesting artifact.
Let's start the wrap up. January was a pretty good reading year for me because I kinda had a head start at the end of last year. I filmed my tier ranking horror and thriller videos, which is one of my most viewed videos for some reason. Do you like me getting angry? Do you like that? Because I could do that for the views. I filmed that 2 or 3 weeks before the year ended, so I kinda had a head start at reading books for January. For January, I read a total of 9 books, which is the highest books I've read in a month. I read 3 thrillers, 4 horror novels, one is a graphic novel, and 2 romance books. In terms of rating, I have 3 5-star ratings, 3 4-star ratings, 1 3-star ratings, and 2 1-star ratings. You probably know which ones are the 1 star. So, first book that I've read, or should I say that I finished in January, is Night Swim by Megan Golden. It's a 4-star book. So good. It talks about this girl who has been claiming that she was raped by this all-star player in the town. She's the talk of the town because obviously the popular kid, the all-star kid, the athlete, supposedly raped her. And then it had some true crime podcast element on the book, and we follow this podcast host who's covering this town's story. And on top of that, she receives letters from this girl who's asking for her help to solve her sister's rape case. It switches between the podcast, the courtroom scenes, and then it switches on the past of that letter sender, on her point of view on what happened on her sister. I took 1 star because at the end it got kind of cheesy, but overall I like this book. It had some great quotable quotes. It's such a good book. Yeah, it's I'm out of words. Like, how could you describe a freaking book? Trigger warnings for rape, sexual assault, abuse, verbal abuse, and sexism on this book. Overall, this is a good read, a fresh take on courtroom thrillers, which I'm really loving right now. So, yeah, that's Night Swim by Megan Golden. And then the next book that I've read is Imaginary Friend by Stephen Chbosky. What the frick was that? Imaginary Friend by Stephen Chbosky. This follows Christopher. He's 7 years old and he suffers from dyslexia. One night, Christopher vanishes. He just got lost out of nowhere off the grid for 6 freaking days. And then this one teenager found him, and suddenly he's a smart ass dude. He knows something about people. He could read people's minds. He predicted the lottery numbers. They got rich. Yeah, that's the plot. Easy 5 stars. This reminded me so much of It by Stephen King, even though I haven't read that yet. Watch out for my reading vlog on that. Yeah, super creepy, so atmospheric. This had some mixed reviews on people because the book mixes religion and it got too preachy according to some people, but overall I like this book because I grew up as a Christian, and not that I claim to know the Bible, but there are some scenes here that is pretty much similar to the Bible, and I'm planning on. Am I supposed to say this? I'm planning on doing a redesigning cover of this one, kind of like my first video where I redesigned the troop into a Goosebumps book cover. Although this one there isn't any theme, I just want to redesign the cover because I got so inspired. There are some freaking images on this book that are engraved in my mind, and yeah, this book is just really genius. The symbolisms. I'm planning on dissecting this book on that video. I'm still I'm still waiting for inspiration to struck me because right now, girl, this brain, she blank right now. So the next two books that I have, you probably know. Okay? This one, that one, and this one. I rated this book's 1 star. All of them, if I could do a half a star, I would do that. So this is All Else Confusion by Betty Niels, and then Bitter Enchantment by Yvonne Whittle. I read these books because of a video reading vintage romance pocketbooks, and surprise, surprise, it's problematic. So please check that video out. I'm really proud of that video. My jokes were hella funny in that video. I don't know. Maybe I just find myself funny. So the plot. No. If you want a full story on these books, I've narrated the whole story of these books from the start of the book to the end of the book. I've narrated the whole story of this, and you get to experience me getting mad, hella mad, than the tier ranking. You know, my most viewed video, I got freaking pissed on this books. And while I was reading this one, Bitter Enchantment, I also read I Shot by Taylor freaking Adams, just because I wanna cleanse my palate. You know when you ate something and it leaves a bad taste on your mouth and you want something to freaking cleanse your palate? That's what I did. I've rated this 5 stars. So the plot of I Shot, so we follow this couple. So we follow James and Elle. They're traveling through the desert on their way to their new life, and suddenly their car breaks down. They don't know what's the problem, and they see a man on a road, and he seems kind of lost. He's holding his head, and for some reason they discovered that he's been shot, and they discovered that their car has been shot. That's why it won't work. So a freaking killer sniper start getting them one by one. Yeah, easy. I like this book. Taylor Adams freaking did it again. It's so gripping. His writing is so gripping, and the characters really isn't dumb because every decision they make so freaking smart. Like if I were in their position, I wouldn't have thought of those things that they did. One thing that I'd have to say, No Exit was better than this if I may compare the two, because No Exit has short chapters than this one. So if you've read No Exit, right? No Exit has the point of view of the antagonist, and here also follows that format where we get the point of view of the sniper dude who is killing them one by one. So good. So freaking good. It's so twisted though. And the next book that I've read is a graphic novel. You've probably heard of it. It's Ice Cream Man Volume 1. Rated this 5 stars. The art style is so good. I got so inspired Well, there's your answer. Maybe I just have to read more of Ice Cream Man to get that inspiration to finally create that imaginary friends book cover. Anyway, so Ice Cream Man. So it's kind of an anthology, so we follow different stories. How could I freaking describe this book? It's so different, it's so unique. It's like Black Mirror, but horror and without the technology. And it's so weird, yet it's so good. I've ordered volume 4, which according to the reviews I saw was the most clever one. So I ordered that on Amazon last January and Philippines, right? It'll arrive on May. Yeah, 5 stars, Ice Cream Man Volume 1. The next 3 books that I've read, probably seen it on my horror and thriller books from foreign authors. So the next book is The Dinner by Herman Koch. And I've rated this 4 stars. Freaking good. So the premise of The Dinner is we follow these two families. One family is the richer one is just the middle class family, and they're having dinner at this prestigious restaurant, which takes you 6 freaking months to have a reservation. But the rich guy manages to call the owner and said, "Dude, let me get a table, tonight." He didn't say that. Why are you watching me? I'm just reenacting my perception and how he booked that reservation. Anyways, this book is divided on to, how do you call, meals. So appetizer, the main course, the dessert, everything is divided into that, and then they're having this dinner because they're discussing what they're gonna do with their 2 boys who might have committed a horrific act. So I took 1 star off because I wanted it to be darker. I really thought this was a cult book. Turns out it's not. This is a thriller, by the way. Overall, it's just a fast read. I like the book. It's compelling. The characters are unlikable, yet the fact that they're unlikable, I kind of like them for that. If that makes sense. It also talks about class. This has a social commentary on classes, kind of like The Parasite. Next book I've read is The Vegetarian by Hong Kong. So this is a 3-star read. This follows Young Hai and her husband was just living an ordinary life, but then suddenly Young Hai had a dream, and for some reason after she wakes up, she rummages through the fridge and throws kilos of meat, of seafood, everything, and she's throwing them all on a trash bag, and suddenly she's like, I don't want to eat meat. And we follow the consequences of Young Hai's action on her family. And on top of that, being vegetarian or vegan in this case, in South Korea is quite a taboo topic. So, yeah. I rated this 3 stars because kind of don't get it. This was labeled as a horror. There are some horrific, and for some reason, the horrific acts in this book is like art. That sounded so weird. If you've read this book, you know what I'm talking about. The paint scene, so weird, yet so beautiful at the same time. The writing is beautiful, so elegant, so classy, and yeah. The Vegetarian by Han Kong. And last book that I've read in January, which I've managed to finish exactly January 31, is Fever Dream by Samantha Schweblin. So this follows a young woman named Amanda, and she's lying in a rural hospital, and a boy named David is talking to her while she's on her hospital bed, and the boy is like convincing Amanda to recount every situation that happened to her before it's too late. So Samantha tells this story to David, the boy, and the boy is like, please don't get distracted. We've done this a million times. You need to finish the story before it's too freaking late. And yeah, we follow the story from there. I rated this 4 stars. This is labeled as a horror. It's so surreal. I kind of didn't get the ending of the book, which would typically infuriate me because I spent a lot of time reading this book and that was it. Like, I don't get it. But as I read through Reddit posts, they explained it well, and each person that was on that thread had different meanings about the ending, which I appreciated that about this book. So yeah, I rated this 4 stars. If you're a parent though, this would be your literal nightmare. I wouldn't recommend this to you. So yeah, these are the books that I've read in January. Okay? And I'm so sorry that this took so long to make. It's February 24 right now and I'm filming this. Gio, aren't you embarrassed with yourself? You're filming a January wrap up on February 24, and when will you upload this? Probably in March. So, yeah, these are the books that I've read in January. I've read 9 books. Like this video if you like this video. Comment this emoji if you've been this far. And yeah, bye.